Hi Capricorn, this is your reading for November. I just want to ask before I forget if you would like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you'd like, you could leave a one-word question in the comments and I'd love to pull a card for you. Spirit, what message do you have for Capricorn? Spirit, what message do you have for Capricorn? We have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Release, and we have the Knight of Cups. And then at the bottom, we have the Two of Pentacles, which it says, working too hard or multiple jobs, the need to bring balance and fun into your life. I know us Capricorns, we're very guilty of that. But I also wanted to use this Lenormand deck. It's tiny but mighty. I really enjoy the messages it brings. Spirit, what message do you have for Capricorn? We have the Whip, we have the Tree, and we have the letter. Oh, and at the bottom we have the ring, which is definitely like a long-term commitment. And it shows a lamp with a genie. That's also a wish granted. This is also another deck I like. It's the inner deck. I feel like it's our inner self. We're so busy these days. We don't really take the time to listen to our inner self. Spirit, what message do you have for Capricorn? We have practice freedom, a time to remember, and run wild. And then we also have accept what is. The act of acceptance will bring peace. Sometimes we're so busy trying to save the world that we just gotta, find our inner peace. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, a windfall of abundance, wise counsel, a good fortune, an exciting career opportunity, a lucrative contract, significant purchases like a home or a vehicle. This is definitely a good one. It's the beginning. It's, a beginning. As you can see, she's going to the mansion. But it did say here, purchase like a new home or a vehicle. But as you can see, she's heading towards the castle. It's the beginning of it, but it has a magical ending. So just know you got good luck coming. And with the whip, everybody interprets that different. I don't know how that goes for you, but but I feel like I don't know if you can see the man in the background with the crown and everything, but I feel like sometimes we all got to crack that whip and be like, whoop, whoop, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that, you need to do this. I can't do all this by myself. I'm not a genie, I need help. So what we do is we give the tedious task to people and we say, okay, you do this, you do that, and I'll do the harder task, because I know the earth signs, especially a Capricorn, you guys always feel nobody can do it better than you can, so you'd rather just do it yourself. But I think if you gave the tedious tasks to other people, you'd be able to do the big tasks. And it says practice freedom, release the weight of judgment. So I think a lot of the times we care too much what people think, and rather than just letting our wings out and fly, the sky is the limit. I think that's one thing I love about children, is that nothing is unattainable to them because they have an imagination and they believe in anything. And I wish we all still felt the same way. But as you can see, this bird, he's literally flying. He's got the stars and a piece of the rainbow and the clouds. Like, he's got it all right there in front of him. So just know the sky's the limit for you. And we also have release, which is endings that lead to new beginnings, the need to release situations or people that hold you back, spiritual transformation. So it is the holiday time with Thanksgiving, and I think sometimes, we have friends from the past, family from the past, and maybe, they're not the best influences. Maybe they don't have their life in order, and not necessarily like they're a bad influence where they make you make bad decisions, but I think sometimes this can also be, sometimes people have a lot going on in their lives, and especially at Thanksgiving, everybody kind of throws all their chaos on top of you. And as an earth sign, as a Capricorn, you think to yourself like, oh my goodness, I could solve this problem. I could help you this, and we could fix this. And it's like, it's not your problem. I know you want to save the world and help everybody, but you got to worry about yourself. Get yourself to the top of the mountain, then go help everybody. Instead, you take on everybody else's and it drains you, emotionally, physically. And as you can see here, partnered with a tree. Look at this guy. He's got like the castle's right behind him and he's got his arms out like, hey, I'll save you. When it's like, hold on a second, let me like get to the castle first, make all that money, and then I'll like come help you. Because if you drag me down with you, it's kind of like swimming. You know what they say, like, throw the float in. Don't jump in because the person could drown you, you know. I don't know why spirit like gave me that analogy, but this tree is growing. Just know that those roots are grounded and you are growing and you will be the biggest, the best, you know, that there is, because this tree, look how beautiful it is. I mean, sometimes trees, Lord, I hope whatever accomplishment doesn't take hundreds of years like it does for a tree. But I feel like you can see this tree is already large. So you are so close to there. Look at the guy in the picture. He's almost to the castle. And it says, a time to remember. Look back on your childhood and look at where you are today, you know? I think so many times we're always like, the sky, I gotta get to the top, I gotta get to the penthouse, I gotta get to the tippy top. But sometimes when you look back at where you were when you were a kid, when you graduated high school, what was your first job? I mean, were you I look back at myself, I'm like, was I was worked at a fast food place. I remember it was Hardee's, you know, and it was the worst job ever, but it was the best job I ever had because it reminded me that I never wanted to ever end up in a job like that for the rest of my life. You know, I went to college, got my degree, I worked my butt off, you know, so I feel like the sky is the limit. So just remember, you know, look back on your childhood, but just look at how far you've come. And then we have here the Knight of Cups, which is, you know, like Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It says romantic, flirtatious, introspective, falling in love, being swept off your feet, a sudden love affair, a lack of balance in relationships, situations or topics that make your heart flutter, love of art and poetry. And here you have a letter, poetry, you know, it could be a love letter or something, you know, related to a letter, a text, and email, something. But I also feel like the Knight of Cups, you know, any cup is empathic, you know, they have empathy towards others. And I feel like that with the letter, you know, you could be receiving a message of some sort, or, you know, here it says like, where was it? A lack of balance in a relationship, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. I mean, this is like the butterflies in your tummy. And as you can see, like the horse is like running in the, you know, running in the water. And this is, and anything that's a one is the beginning, you know, so it could be the beginning of a relation. Not to say this is a love reading, but, but it could, especially around the holidays sometimes, you know, if you're already in a relationship, it could be rekindling that love you had from when you first met. But if you're not in a relationship, hey, you could be meeting, you know, a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer, and they sweep you off your feet. You never know. And then it says, run wild. Let your inner wild child run forth, and hear the horses running forth, you know. I think sometimes with Capricorn, you're very focused on work and work, climb that mountain. But sometimes we got to remind ourselves like, hey, let me let my hair down. Let me have a little fun. Let me get a couple of laughs, like those deep belly laughs, you know, that hurt so bad because they're so funny, you know. And I think with everybody this month with Thanksgiving, it brings us together with our friends and family, and it really reminds us to have a good laugh and to spend quality time with the ones we love, because you never know how long they'll be here. And you always want to remember these amazing times together, not on your phone worried about emails, not on your phone like texting and social media and all these other things, just really enjoying the time with your family and those good tight belly laughs together. So I hope you have a magical month, and I'll see you in the next reading.